Alright guys, it's time for Frosty the Snowman Grudge match. In my previous video I played 2 games against Frosty and tried to use the checklist, but got my ass kicked. So I think the issue was that I was using the checklist in the way that I'd been using it before, and because I developed this specific list for the Smash 500 course and used it in quite a simplistic way. I'm convinced that the same complete Gestalt thought process applies at every level, so I'm going to take on Frosty again. And what we're going to do here is not say, does the checklist still apply at that level? It's a question of at what depth, to what depth do we need to apply it in order to beat a 1350 rated bot. Okay, so we are going to use our normal repertoire. Okay, now the purpose of this move is to try and deflect this pawn away from the centre. Okay, our opponent has not gone for it. Very interesting. Okay, now this is an interesting variation. I'm just developing my pieces, controlling the centre, and my opponent is playing, again, in my view, beyond his pay grade. Okay, can I take here? I'm attacking the knight. If the knight takes here, I can just push my pawn, I think. Do I just push the pawn now? Let's just push the pawn now. In fact, let's develop a bishop. If I do that, let's just think, this is attacked twice. If I take, he can't take with the queen. He might recapture with the knight. So the Dykhoff variation, as I'm reliably informed, it's pronounced Dykhoff in Dutch or Flemish, not Dickoff. This is one of the most challenging lines and not what you would expect at 1350. Okay, so let's think this through. I take here. He can't take back with the knight. So I take here. This is a forcing move. I'm attacking his piece. He has to do something. If I take, he takes here. If he takes immediately, I don't want to capture there because I don't want to allow a pawn onto e5. We know this. There and takes. Here we go, tactics straight out of the opening. I could develop my bishop. I'm going to develop my bishop and see what happens. Okay, so I can now push this pawn with tempo, but if he comes in here, I take, I could take, have to move my knight. Okay, so got 2 attackers on here, 1 defender. Queen e7 adds a second defender. Pawn to d6 adds a second defender. I take here, queen can't take. There is a check. This is already super involved, guys. This knight's in an absolute pin. So this is a very real threat. I'm attacking the knight. So here, he has to take with a knight, I think. And I take and queen takes. Let's visualize that position. My bishop is then under fire. If I take this first, no. If I push, he'll come in with a knight. If I take and take, queen e7 pins the pawn, he castles. How about simply pawn to d6? There, knight comes in, there. Knight takes knight, pawn takes knight. Bishop takes. Forking king and rook, I think. Oh, Frosty, you are a cool customer. Pun intended. So we're already deep. I know I've said it before. We are deep into the tactics here. That this is one of the most challenging lines in the Yanish Gambit. Let's start again. There's got to be something here. I attack, knight can't take. Knight comes in. I take. Pawn takes, my knight's under attack. I've got a pawn on here. Pin. Okay, I'm gonna go for challenging. I'm gonna push. It takes. No, I can't pin the pawn because I've got my own pawn there. But this knight's sufficiently defended. Can I challenge the knight now? No, because takes. Hang on. Knight takes, I take, bishop takes, forking king and rook. Not happy about that. So we can discount that option. So I can clearly not choose the wine in front of you. Can I just castle? I believe I can. The knight is still pinned. I take and pawn takes. See, one of the things in the whole Freddy Krueger repertoire is you do not want to allow a pawn here taking this knight away. Having said that, the queen is now off the light square diagonal and my king is castled, so that's really not so much of an issue. If I take and take, I have to move my knight though. Can I do this? Lose a pawn. Just pawn to d5. And then I'm taking away a defender of the knight on c6. Could I force the issue? So what we're doing here is I'm saying, look, what do I want to do? Okay, which is really what chess is about. We make moves. Take turns to make moves, not complicated. Okay, so what do I want to do right now? I want to relieve the pressure. I've got two pieces in my half of the board. That's what I would like to resolve. And tactically, if I take and take, I've got a knight under attack. Not really happy about that. It hasn't got a good place to go. This is possible. This is possible now. Is it possible now? I'm attacking the knight, which is pinned. Let's say he counterattacks my bishop with a3. I take the knight, he has to take with a pawn. He's left with an isolated pawn on a3. I retreat my bishop. There, knight can't take the pawn. Okay, now I'm trying to sanity check, okay? Is there anything wrong with what I'm about to do? No. Not that I can see. Okay. Wow. Okay, I'm considering this move. Why am I considering this move? Well, where are we? Why did my opponent make that move? Hard to say, actually. He's definitely weakened his kingside now. But my spidey senses about Frosty is that he's way stronger than 1350. I'm a 1700 player. And he's making life really tricky for me. If I take and pawn takes, then this knight's under attack. I have c6 hitting the bishop and defending the knight. I take, pawn takes, pawn to c6. Bishop has to go away. Bishop's going to come here and pin my knight. I've got this. There. There's no knight to come in and check me. I think that's the best option. Alright. Pawn takes. So now this knight hangs. This is critical. I take here, queen can't take, pawn will take. I retreat the bishop maybe to here. But we've also got c6. That's the move, my original move. Here, bishop to there, I think. That's 2 attackers on the knight, but if I just move my king, we've got bishop takes, pawn takes. Does it change if I take this knight first? I'm actually a pawn down at this point, but I have castled. There's queen h4, doesn't come with check. So the immediate issue is this. I've got a knight that's attacked twice and not defended. I can't move it there, I can't move it there, I can't move it there. Options are this, this, and takes. I'm going to go for takes, just on the principle that my opponent's going to have trouble castling. Okay. And now my bishop is under attack. So we go straight into tactics mode. I want to save my bishop. I could counterattack, but I don't want to repair his pawns either. So I think that defending the bishop is not an option. This move just jumps out to me. Got 2 attackers on here. It's well defended, that's fine. Frosty, you're killing me! He's up 4 materials now. What the heck? The rook's defended. He attacks my queen. This is pretty much forced. That undefends his pawn. Okay, he saved his bishop first. Fair enough. This would force a trade of queens, would it not? I think it would. This, pawn takes. I'm telling you, this bot is underrated. I attack the queen, he's just going to come in and trade off, right? That's not acceptable. I attack the bishop, that isn't an option. I'm going to attack the bishop. He'll probably just slide back there. Okay, he's gone back there. His pawn hangs. I'm inclined to play this. Got to be careful about, I don't want to hang this rook, because I really do want to get my bishop off the back rank. What's the way to do it? If I attack, pawn takes. This is not a good day. I just push. I think so. That. Can he take en passant? He can. Maybe I should try and fianchetto this bishop. It's going to be too little too late. My opponent is going to struggle to get king safety, that's the big issue, but I am down a bishop. And a pawn. There, he takes EP. But at least his pawn is then defended. I don't know, guys, I'm struggling, really struggling here. Okay, what's undefended in his position? That and the rooks. My queen can't go to any of these squares and kind of needs to defend the pawn. Right, I want to get my bishop off the bat. I'm just going to push. Attacks there. I'm just going to push. If he comes and trades, I'll take here. What's your idea? That's why did my opponent make this move. This bishop's undefended, so this pawn's pinned. I don't like this bot. You have to try and make some counterplay. Don't want to lose this pawn in the middle of the board though, really. Go rook here and push. It might just come in here with a queen. I can dodge to a degree. I'm attacking A2 now. But it does hang this, so do I shift a rook over? Queen can't come in and hangs another pawn. Jesus. What's going on here? Defends that and attacks this. Bishop's undefended here. You've got to take this pawn. Defends. Attack twice, defended twice. This drops the pawn. This might win me a pawn. Still bishop and a pawn down though. Right, he's attacking my bishop. Curse you, Frosty. Okay, I've got half a plan. Why did he play that move? He's threatening mate. That's why he made that move. Curse you again, Frosty. Now my only hope is this kind of idea. So I go here. You can threaten me with a rook. I can drop back. He's not threatening to sack the queen, is he? Right, no. No, seriously, guys. This bot is kicking my butt. He made a blunder. Yeah, maybe 1750, maybe stronger. He was never worse. This was a blunder. I should have moved the other... Well, yeah, I blundered the pawn. But come on, seriously. Seriously. Rematch. Not the bleeding Sicilian again. Okay, I'm playing my normal repertoire. I'm playing the Grand Prix attack now. Okay, well, this gives me the chance to trade off the bishop, but do I want to push this pawn first? I mean, that is a free pawn. I could just take. I'm going to play it as though this is a normal 5-minute blitz game. Retreat the knight. I'm going to play a little bit more on instinct. Okay, so the reason is he's protecting against this move. Okay, so I'm going to develop. Okay, he's attacking this pawn which is undefended, so d3, discover defense by the bishop. Second attacker. How does that not lose material? Answer is, it does lose material. Okay, I can centralise the knight and attack the queen. That is not a bad idea. I can play bishop e2 and castle. That's defended. So that I'm going to attack the queen. Also attacking this. Okay. Bishop e2 and castles. Bishop e3 puts two attackers on there. That's a bit of a ropey one, isn't it? Do I come in or out? I think out. What's the purpose of this move? Such an important question. I can always meet it with a3 if he comes further. I'm going to castle, get my king safe. Again, Frosty is not prioritising king safety. He's prioritising tactics. Okay, there's an opportunity here. But I think that's what he's preventing with queen e7. Queen defends this square. Okay, I want to get my bishops out. I could put my knight back here. I'm up a minor piece, so maybe he doesn't want to trade knights. If I do that, is he just going to come in? I can attack here. I've got this, g6. Trade down. Need to keep life simple. Okay, so there's no queenside castles, not like he was going to anyway. He's going to want to go short. So strategically now, I've got a very bad dark squared bishop. He's only got a light squared bishop, so I'm not too worried about my king at this moment. That's a weak pawn. Just going to hit the rook and maybe open up the e-file slightly. That could pin this pawn. Here, queen here. I mean, this is a tickly move. I'm going to chuck it in. Try and prompt g6. I have a dark squared bishop, remember. This and like this, maybe? Queen there, what's he doing? What are you doing, you frozen bastard? He's attacking that, but it's defended. Rook e1. I'd like to play my other... Okay, hit the queen. Are there any safe squares to go to? Not really. I mean, the best squares are covered by the light squared bishop, and I'll be on a light square. I think this is the move I want to play. You're not threatening to come in, are you? I could just play h6. What is the point of that move? Castles? He wants to castle? Again, attack the queen. I need to open up my pieces. Sanity check. The idea is to go after this pawn. Okay, here. There's 2 attackers on the pawn. He could defend with the rook. But we are starting to open up, and he's castled now into somewhat of a precarious place. The queen here would be nice, attacking the knight. But it can still come in. I've still got this, but again, nowhere to go. There I could at least anchor it. Okay, go for a bit of anchorage, Alaska. No pun intended, though my opponent's a snowman. Okay, here we're at least starting to get into his blooming space. Okay, queen still defends this. This guy's not very good. I'd love to get my dark squared bishop onto there. So is it time to stick my queen here? He hasn't got a dark squared bishop to defend that. Right, now I'm threatening to take with a fork on queen and... Have you missed that? What? Hello. I think I can just take. If queen takes... I could just take here. I think I'd just take here. Now can I just take there? Okay, I mean I've got a free rook. If I take there with an attack on the queen, and I'm actually threatening possible mates, mating nets kind of thing with both bishops. Looking at the king here, right? Can I take and just push on? Still a free rook. Cash it in. Yeah, I'm not afraid of you. Plus 10 materials now. Pushki the pushman. Skewer the queen on the rook. I'm coming for your stuff. You popsicle dicked buffoon. Whatever. Save the bishop. Undefended, undefended. He can only go back. Crawl back into the pit from whence you came. That bishop moves. I got this. He defends with the queen, also attacks c2. Simply stick a rook up it. Okay. I like this move. Yeah, I like this. Just getting in to his space. Attacks the queen, but it's not defended there. Attacking the pawn. Well, you can't have that. I'm not giving you a damn thing. Nope, not today. Right, he's got no checks. My king's still on the dark square. Check. Right. That's what it takes. Now, this is doing my effing nut. So I'm trying to slow down, I'm trying to be careful, I'm trying to be disciplined, and I get my ass kicked. And I play as though it's a 5-minute blitz, and I destroy him. What can I fucking say? He played at 80%. What? Okay, well, this makes no sense to me. Well, you play at 80% and it gives you 1,000. Admittedly, that was his worst game out of 4 so far. But fuck me blind. Jesus. I had to play over 2,000 level to get him. This is madness. This is insanity. I need to go have a little lie down. But anyway, happy dance. We can celebrate the win. And that was a damn good win, actually. And it's a jolly good opening. Where was my great move? Well, obviously, yeah. And that was his blunder. Now, he did blunder. He does blunder. I don't know what to make of this bloody bot. I don't. Nothing makes sense. The world doesn't make sense anymore. I'm going for a lie down. Thanks for watching. See you later.